If you were to look at the definition of larger than life, you'd see a picture of Randy. Everything about him was larger than life. He was big and elegant.
Randy Fuhrman. Oh, what a powerhouse, and what a life that he lived. He shall be remembered for his brilliance, for his power, for his passion to take an idea and to take it to the absolute max of what was possible. He was also loved his friends and his family. He would do anything. He always made sure that everyone felt special. And yet at the same time, he craved love. And though we all gave him love, he never quite knew how much there was love all around him. He was brilliant and he was difficult. He was the master of absolute outrageousness, and he was also challenged by sadness and gloom.
You never know what's going to happen. It's always a surprise.
Randy was one of my first clients when I moved in here. I put an ad in the paper and Randy gave me a call and came over. I was quite surprised to see this big man with a multicolor outfit, everything matching, including his shoes, telling me all about the colors that he has to choose, and then taking out a fan and showing me this I need to wear when I go on a date, this when I'm doing a presentation. I was looking all the time over to see if there is a candid camera because I couldn't believe it was true. Then we became friends and the rest is history.
The thing I'd love to share about Randy is how big his heart was. I think of all the time that he spent cleaning dishes, baking, mixing bowls, alone, preparing for being in service and serving large groups of people.
All we have to do is blend it. Then what we do, I like doing this a day ahead of time because that way all the flavors blend and then you don't have to be going crazy when all your guests are coming.
Randy Fuhrman was a creative genius. I met him in an elevator in West Hollywood when we lived in the same apartment complex at the end of Fuller Street. He made me a bundt cake, a chocolate bundt cake, and then that was it. We were friends forever. He knew exactly how to make people happy.
I have this piece of cake in my mouth right now. Randy, will you marry me?
I can't believe you already
Hey,
tried
I'm available.
it. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, first of all, you cater all kinds of parties.
I do anything from 2 to thousands, in-state, out of country.
Where were you when I got married?
Here.
Okay.
I've been doing it 34 years.
Oh my God.
Now, some of the people you've catered to, everyone from the Boy Scouts to the Playboy Mansion.
And I've done I was Nicolas Cage. I did all of the work for Nicolas Cage until he actually hired a personal chef.
I've met during the past several months some of the most creative people I've ever been exposed to. Randy Fuhrman and Creative Concept and their staff did all of this before. You deserve a tremendous round of applause from all of you tonight.
By the way, each area will have its own sound effects. This will have all Asian. Now we're going to go to the old lady in the shoe. What we're going to be doing is you're going to hear the sound effects of going, kids, get off the shoelace, and all of a sudden the kid falls down and all this noise goes, did you hurt yourself? You know, every area's got its own unique little thing.
Randy created so many beautiful events.
Randy came into my life in a whirlwind of color and imagination. Nothing was too big for him, and he was fearless.
Fabulous party. It was the best party we've ever been to in our lives.
Yeah, it was a real sensation. You know, Sunset, we're really lucky that I'm good friends with Rich Ligurcio, Classic Party Rentals, because he's got everything we could possibly want. Tables, chairs, linens, the whole thing, umbrellas, lighting. Come on over here, let's look at the other things we could possibly use. God, we don't have very much time.
We went through so many adventures together. The 3 of us, the 4 of us, the 5 of us, with such special friends in our lives. Michael Alden, Michael Gerber. We traveled together. We've been to London. We've been to Mexico. We've been to, I don't know where we've been. We just traveled.
It was sometime in the early 80s where a group of us, Randy included, went down to Mexico for the day to eat lobster and play on the beach. We decided that we were going to stop by a small Mexican restaurant to have authentic Mexican food, and we all decided what we wanted was fajitas. And the shopkeeper said, well, we don't make fajitas. We don't even know what fajitas are. At this point, I'm not even sure if fajitas are a Mexican dish. So Randy, of course, tried to explain exactly how you would make fajitas at this little shop, and nobody understood him. So what did Randy do? He climbed over the counter, he kicked the cook and the manager out, who then joined us at the table, and Randy made fajitas.
My brother is the only person that I know that from a very young age knew exactly what he wanted to do.
I would get in trouble for throwing parties when my parents were out of town. And my brother used to take the car out. He would sneak out when my parents weren't home and go drive and do whatever he wanted to do. And I bribed him with sweet tarts. And so then he would come back, but because my parents found out that he used to do that, he would drive the car backwards around the block to get the odometer to go backwards so that it would get back to the mileage that he started at. So he was quite a character. He was always in trouble for something.
Dana and I have had an incredible relationship, from an absolute hate relationship to a love relationship, from her doing drugs before me and always getting blamed for them, for her sneaking out and me getting in trouble, for her protecting me when I steal the car, from her protecting me when I throw parties and cover for me. I love you very much, and thank you for being who you are and letting me be who I am without any judgment. Remember, I said that. So, I love you very much.
Randy went to high school with my brother, Les Fuhrman, and our house was the hangout place. So I knew Randy from the mid-60s on. I would babysit his Great Danes, Rhea and Lady, and all the ones that came after that, and help him if he needed help in the kitchen or in one of his parties. And I was always delighted to do that because I've never known anybody to be more creative, just a creative, wonderful guy.
To Randy Fuhrman and Beverly Stone of Creative Concept for their marvelous party coordinating, which has resulted in tonight's activities. Thank you, Randy and Beverly.
I grew up on the street down the block from him and Danielle, and I was right in the middle of them in age, and they were both my very excellent friends. And Randy would take me, he took me to my first concert, Donovan at the Hollywood Bowl, and many other concerts after that. And then all the times that we used to pile in the car, I think it was a Malibu convertible, and we would just travel through Malibu Canyon or Topanga Canyon and go to the beach and have Joni Mitchell and Judy Collins just blaring on the radio.
Goes and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air.
I house sat for him many years ago, and everything in his house, including his house, was huge and elegant. His Great Dane dogs were big and elegant. Everything about him was big and elegant. That was who Randy was.
One of the great things about Randy and being a friend of his and associating with him is he introduced me to things I would have never experienced before, like the big giant events that he does and all of his fabulous cooking and always doing something different, and everything had to be different the next time, and the next time had to be different again.
He had planned a trip down to Cabo San Lucas and invited me, Greg and John, Bent and Maggie, Jennifer Jackson, to all go down and spend a week with him in Cabo San Lucas, and I was really, really flattered that he asked me to go, and it was one of the best weeks of my life.
I think though about Randy, what he really wanted most, like every child and every one of us, was to be loved and to love other people. And I think that he struggled with letting people love him and taking it all in, taking in the love and support that people had for him. And I think maybe at the very end when over 100 people came to his house to be with him those last couple of days that he was with us. I think that he really finally let that love in and was able to see that people were that really cared about him, really loved him, and was able to let it in a little bit.
He would hire me to manage his events and staff them. I would bring in my own team, and that would free him up to do what he loved, which is to be creative and to run around and play with flowers and fabric and worry about the design and the client. And that worked for us. That worked for us pretty well.
Randy was fearless, and these qualities were infectious, and they helped me become more fearless.
I've been in, it has been quite fun to be me. Now I'm free, look at me. You can't see me, I have returned to my soul. Ain't it great being late? Don't have to hurry, see the show. There they go, that's me they bury. Why do they weep? I'm alright. Roses for the dead. I don't know where I'll go, don't seem to matter anywhere. I don't care. You see that a soul being me is free, free like a bird to fly. All around.
So forever and ever and ever, I will be grateful for the love and magic and everything else that Randy put into this world.
I've been around, lost and found. I've been living on the run. I had fun taking, giving. Why do they weep? I'm alright. Ain't it great being late? Don't have to hurry, see the show. There they go, that's me they bury. Why do they weep? I'm alright. Roses for the dead.
Just a creativeness I learned, and I appreciate his spirit, and he's with me in his heart. He's with me in my heart all the time.
But you're gonna live forever in me, I guarantee. Just wait and see.